Buhari brought religion, ethnicity, and sectionalism to a level that is almost destroying Nigeria. Bishop Iguella, welcome to the news, and please subscribe to our channel. The General Superintendent of Holy Spirit Mission Church, aka Happy Family Center, Charles Iguella, recently spoke with members of the Association of Christian Correspondents of Nigeria, ACCON, at his residence in Lagos, where he highlighted the social political implication of the Muslim ticket of the All Progressives Congress APC and other issues, except by Shiah Jung Salau. What is the view on the overall security of the country? He replied, in the Hobson world, we talked about society of those days, the state of nature where life was short, brutish and nasty, which are called the Hobson state of nature. We have come to that stage, and when things go like that, the National Security Advisor is telling us to be security conscious, telling us to secure Abuja, so that Abuja does not fall. Oh God, where are we? My advice is this. Yes, we should be security conscious. We are security conscious, and then 100 people on bikes, because comes to a village, how can you fight back? We have security forces, many from the army, police, civil defense, 800,000 to 100 million armed people in this country. Where are they? I cannot blame them because they are not motivated. The bandits are not more than 100,000, and our forces are 1 million combined, including the immigration, customs, and the rest of who are normally armed. I said some time ago that when they said to change the service chiefs, I said, well, I have no objection, but if you bring American service chiefs to come and be charged with that kind of leadership we have, things will be the same. Our soldiers are not motivated to fight. The love for their father's land is not put in them. Toby Amusan won some gold some days ago. I was saying it was an effort. Then, when Shiah Jung, who won gold in long jump years ago, when interviewed her, how do you feel over Toby Amusan? She said that the girl had been suffering. Then she found her way. She's on scholarship from the United States. Our top athletes are there in American universities. They struggle. Then after honor to the nation, you come out to say, our girl. Which girl? She's not a girl. Now, for you to go and fight and die, you must be motivated. How can I go to fight against a superior weapon when billions of naira that was voted to buy a weapon cannot be accounted for? El Rufai has been saying that they know where these Boko Haram insurgents are. They know where they are. So a leader, a president of a whole country who enjoys being in power alone, feeling good about being in power and using power to do good for the common man. No, so that he is where the problem is. When Osibanjo was there, security forces were dealt a blow at the Odi in Niger, Delta and Zakibiam in Benue State. When Obasanjo descended on them, I am not saying he did it well, he overreacted. But let me tell you, they kept quiet. What are you telling me? ASU has been on strike for about 6 months now. What is your view on our educational system? Something happened that I couldn't do what I planned to do over the ASU strike issue. I was to make a placard and a t-shirt for myself and my wife to go to the street in support of the ASU strike. Primary school destroyed. You see, nobody who earns even 15,000 naira a month will say my child goes to public primary school. Secondary school destroyed. In some schools, about 500 pupils use one toilet. The teachers, many cannot speak good English. So, people are taking the children from public primary schools to private primary schools. Education is their only and primary school, secondary school, and now the university education is also destroyed, and people cannot take their children to private universities. So, ASU is fighting for the whole educational system, whereby our children can finish from the University of Lagos, University of Ife, and they go out to the United States or UK and pick a job. But right now, they cannot because many of them are not competent. I have people who passed through and then went abroad to study. They could not meet up. So now, they have to sit again to get things done. So the entire education system has failed completely. Go to universities, look at their toilets, compare them to the University of Ife in the 70s. Oh my God, the central cafeteria was like free of our 4-star hotel, everything in order. With 10 kobo in the morning, you have 9 slices of bread with an egg, with either coffee, that is as much as you can take, or tea or beverage. The Quaker Oats, all those things, 10 kobo, lunch, 20 kobo, either eba or semovita, or amala with different kinds of soup, with 2 heavy chunks of meat with ice cream. Then, in the evening, night meal, fruit must accompany it. Do you understand? But now, the whole system has crumbled. So every right-thinking Nigerian should support the overhauling of the educational system. Look, in the United States, my grandchildren who are there, they attend public primary school. There is no need to go to private school because they are all well taken care of. Do you know my grandson who is in primary 5 or 6 was given a project to write on? The project was on agriculture. He came home and said, "Dad, my project is on George Washington Carver." They said, "No, it is George Washington." She said, "Carver." They went to Google and found out that there was one man called George Washington Carver who changed the agricultural system in America. We said, "Chai, primary school." Things have to be done well. Now, every right-thinking Nigerian should support the ASU strike. The president said enough is enough, and then after that, nothing. Now I'm telling him, President, enough is enough. Now I do not know whether it is true. The Sunday Telegraph reports on how we want to use 3.1 billion naira to modernize customs loan to modernize customs. Now you see the extra crude account that Obasanjo received. The minister announced it has depleted from billions upon billions. In June, it was $30-something million. In July, it was $100-something thousand, less than $1 million. I listened to Prof. Pat Utomi when he was being interviewed and other people. It was Adam Smith, who is known to be the father of capitalism, and people always see him as a capitalist. But he has written a book before on morality, the moral behind it, but to forget the morality behind the story. He wrote the book, The Wealth of Nations. Why are some nations richer than other nations? And then he brought these 4 things: capital, entrepreneur, land, and labor. All right. He wrote, and then he brought these 4 things. He wrote that book, The Wealth of Nations. Why are some nations richer than other nations? And then he brought these 4 things: capital, entrepreneur, land, and labor. The educational system produces the labor force. Look at what MAN said, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Some years ago, he said when they employ Nigerian graduates, it takes time to retrain them. Talking about election in relation to level of electoral awareness, getting the right educational system, for instance, begins with electing right people into government. The level of apathy among Nigerians, particularly Christians, has always been high. What can be done to change this trend ahead of 2023? When Buhari won in the last election, one of the papers interviewed me. The way they placed it, it was 2 pages. So they said that it is the worst election in Nigerian history. Then one other general, whether Shagaya or so, said this is the best election in Nigeria's history. What I meant was this in terms of religious content. The election was free and fair. It reflected the will of the people. Yes, there was rigging here and there. This was the 2015 election that brought about Buhari to power. So I like to be as honest as possible, though I didn't vote for him. My brother, Professor Sibanjo, my Christian brother, was there, and I did not vote for him because I saw what was going to happen. And leaders of the church in this country, they know my stand. They know my stand on that, and that is why I took that stand. All right, this is a very beautiful piece. On this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.